After the call for Order 66 was given and the slaughter of the Separatist Council on Mustafar by Darth Vader, almost every single Separatist commando droid received and activated the galaxy-wide shutdown order from Chancellor Palpatine. One Separatist commando droid, however, was able to resist the shutdown order and survive the Clone Wars, going on to become a rebel spy master for the Resistance after the fall of the Empire. So I'm going to break down the heroic story of how this commando droid became one of the best spies in the Resistance and later went on a murderous rampage. Before we get into it, make sure you force crush the subscribe button and make it cough like Mace Windu did to Grievous. The story begins in the cramped quarters of Poe Dameron, where he is training with BB-8 by his side. BB-8 notices that Poe is getting increasingly tense and hitting the training pads with more and more rage as he continues. Poe tells the little astromech that someone inside of his Black Squadron has been leaking information directly to the First Order. He is absolutely disgusted at the fact that his squad mates that he has known since he was a child have been lying to his face, pretending to fight for the good of the galaxy. The man who is receiving the leaks inside of the First Order from the Black Squadron traitor is a high-ranking intelligence officer in the First Order called Terex. Terex served as a stormtrooper at the bloody Battle of Jakku, where the Empire took its final stand in the Galactic Civil War. After that, he immediately turns to a life of deception and covert spy work to keep himself busy and to fulfill his life. Following this, we return to the Resistance base, where C-3PO rushes into the main hangar to inform Poe Dameron that his covert network of droid spies have given him some very crucial information about the First Order. Poe is very suspicious about C-3PO's droid spy network, but he happily begins telling Poe that his operatives were stationed on the planet Kadak, which is known for its very shady cities with criminal activity in every direction. C-3PO shockingly tells Poe that a large bundle of information obtained by one of his droid operatives on the planet includes the exact location of Supreme Leader Snoke. Poe is absolutely stunned by this discovery, but C-3PO cautions Poe, telling him that his droid agent's transmission was interrupted before the proper location could be deciphered and validated. The droid who sent the transmission containing the crucial First Order data was a former Separatist commando droid, N1ZX, nicknamed Nunzix. Shortly after that, we cut straight back to Terex, who was on board a ship called the Carrion Spike, which you might remember from the Tarkin novel. On board the well-treated vessel, one of Terex's men tells him that he has received a priority transmission from Captain Phasma, who wants to know why he hasn't reported for debriefing. Instead of sending through a reply to the message, Terex blasts his communication console, refusing to answer her. Poe and C-3PO then quickly arrive on the lawless world of Kadak, hoping to seek out this droid spy, but they are followed closely by Terex and his men. After spending a long while scouring the surface of the planet for their droid spy, Poe and C-3PO witness countless criminal activities like executions, robberies, assassinations, and kidnappings. Not long after witnessing these things, they quickly become victim to them, with a group of scoundrels surrounding the two and knocking Poe unconscious. Because of C-3PO's weird and oddly suspicious behavior, the group of scoundrels are about to fry his circuits, but Poe quickly awakes from his hazy state, just in time for 3PO to reveal that his droid spy network actually has the scoundrels surrounded. After successfully removing the scoundrels from the area, C-3PO meets up with his snarky commando droid spy agent, who is not happy with how long Poe took to meet him. You can already tell this droid is going to be awesome. The group are eventually able to transport the commando droid who is holding the First Order data leak to a secure location, in hopes of unloading all of his information into the Resistance network. C-3PO quickly becomes furious at his droid agent, however, as he refuses to hand over his information. The commando droid quickly tells 3PO, "You wish, Goldie. I'm keeping what I know about Supreme Leader Snoke to myself until I'm off this blasted planet." Poe is shocked, having never seen such a sarcastic and uncooperative droid, leading him to ask C-3PO why is he doing this. 3PO quickly tells him that this N1NX unit's self-preservation programming is deeply embedded into his central processes, meaning that he can only release the crucial intelligence that he has gained on the First Order once he arrives back on the Resistance base. Poe is stunned by this behavior, saying, "Refused? He's a droid, just get it out of him," before suggesting that they remove the data from his head manually. The commando droid quickly snaps his metal head towards Poe, angrily responding, "Just try it, human, see what happens." You've got to love how bold this droid is. Let me know where he ranks in your top droids. Does he crack your top 10? Poe then pulls C-3PO aside and tells him that he hates the mission and the droid, telling him to get the thing back aboard the ship to return to the Resistance base. The commando droid somehow overhears this and responds to Poe saying, "Thing, I have a name you know, I'm Nunzix." Unfortunately, as the crew are about to leave the hive of scum and villainy, Terex lands on the lawless planet, deeply worrying Nunzix. Poe tries to calm the commando droid spy down, facing the cold, dark void of space. As Poe, Nunzix, and 3PO escape into hyperspace, they each struggle to understand how Terex, the First Order intelligence officer, managed to track them to the lawless world. How did he know they would be there? Poe eventually becomes so suspicious that he pulls the ship hastily out of hyperspace, refusing to take the commando droid back to the Resistance base without knowing the full story. 3PO then awakens the commando droid from its forced power down, and immediately upon his awakening, he sarcastically asks, "And what exactly is this supposed to be?" Poe then explains to the commando that he won't be bringing him back to the Resistance base until he can figure out what his true intentions are. Unfortunately, moments later, a large fleet led by Terex rapidly emerges from hyperspace, putting Poe and his crew of droids in grave danger once again. Eventually, his X-Wing is hit and suffers horrific damage, sending it plummeting down towards the desert world below. The orange and black X-Wing harshly grinds against the rocky surface of the desert planet until coming to a screeching stop, with thick white smoke filling the air around them. Poe and the droids are very lucky to be alive. 3PO, Poe and BB-8 are unharmed from the turbulent crash landing, but Nunzix unfortunately loses his metallic right arm on impact. The group eventually leave Nunzix deep inside of a nearby cave, alone, as he coldly calls Poe a piece of meat, saying, "I hope you've got a plan here, meat. They aren't going to stop just because we found a cave." Poe then responds saying, "We'll go deeper," but the commando hilariously retorts saying, "Deeper? That's not a plan, that's a direction. How can you not love this commando clanker?" Eventually, Terex discovers the location of Nunzix, causing Poe and the others to rush back to his location to save the lonely commando droid. When they arrive, BB-8 grapples himself to the top of the cave, but is swiftly shot out of the air to the absolute horror of Poe. While 3PO is being threatened by Terex, Poe begs Nunzix to fight, saying, "You're a commando droid, aren't you? There must be some combat programming in there somewhere." Nunzix sharply responds saying, "If there is, it is overruled by the self-preservation software installed in me. I'm not putting myself at risk." This selfish response makes Poe absolutely furious, wondering if he won't fight, won't release the data, or do anything. Why is he keeping him around? The commando then sarcastically responds to Poe, saying, "Easy, meat. If nothing else, firing your blaster will give our position to Terex." With BB-8 and C-3PO now captured, Poe is incredibly distressed at how this mission has gone so horribly wrong, and why he of all people is stuck with the sarcastic, snippy commando droid spy. While this is happening, Poe's Black Squadron arrives at his distant location, and Nunzix prepares to enter combat for the first time since the Clone Wars against Terex's men. He is very reluctant to enter combat and even tells Poe that he'll just surrender once Poe dies. Poe is definitely not pleased with this, but Nunzix responds telling him that it's nothing personal, Poe, it's just programming. Poe then reports to his Black Squadron that he's with a useless commando droid who won't fight, to which the droid makes fun of Poe, saying, "Great leadership, mate, very inspiring." Snap Wexley, however, sends a personality template down to Poe, which he inserts inside of the commando droid, absolutely disgusting Nunzix. Amazingly, the template given to Nunzix is of the most murderous and destructive B1 battle droid ever created, Mr. Bones. If you want me to cover the full story of Mr. Bones, let me know down below because it is truly an awesome story. Nunzix excitedly exclaims, "My name is Mr. Bones," before leaping down towards Terex's band of scoundrels, allowing the violence and rage to flow through his circuitry. Nunzix then begins singing in a psychotic rage as he murders every single scoundrel in the area, enjoying the feeling of blood spraying on his metallic body. Poe is absolutely shocked by the murderous rampage, but accepts it as his only way to survive. After Nunzix has shredded through all of Terex's men, he screams to the sky, "Goodbye, new friends, I enjoyed getting to know you." Sadly, moments later, Terex himself arrives on the scene, brutally filling Nunzix with a flurry of blaster fire, destroying his internal circuitry and taking his shiny metal head off. Such a tragic ending for this amazing droid. While Nunzix is tragically disintegrating, Poe arrives to defend his fallen droid brother, but unfortunately has a blade thrown directly into his shoulder, debilitating him. Luckily, BB-8 is able to come to the rescue, shocking Tyrex, allowing a swift escape with the Black Squadron. Unfortunately, the body of Nunzix was never recovered and left stranded on the desert planet for the rest of time. So that is the story of the commando droid who became a covert rebel spy. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.